Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gostinho podcast. I am Bob.
And I'm Daniel.
Okay.
Yes, we got that out of the way. Now we can start talking about things we want to talk about.
Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way. That was the most challenging part. I actually want to start off, to be honest, up front, and say that our Patreon has been increasing by a lot. If you count the fact that the first time we had a Patreon account, we went from having $0 to $2.
Wow.
And then we've been without any gain in terms of Patreon cash or, any new Patreons at all for months. And now we have a $10 patron, which is fun and exciting and means that now
this is a big
the
deal.
$1.51 a month has turned into about, somewhere around $11.51. So that's a good deal. I'm happy about this. And thank you, mysterious human being who has not been named and will remain nameless for as long as we have been without a name. That didn't make any sense, did it?
Oh, okay. I mean, does this person seriously not have a name, or?
This person has asked to not be given a name until they decide on a name. So
okay. All right.
I don't really know what to say there. But thank you. We want to start off this episode with a bit of a news segment. We're trying new stuff, I guess, for season 2, and so we think it'll make more sense if we start off every episode with some bits of news that happened over the week. And also a lot of stuff has happened this week, so it's just worth talking about to begin with.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so tell us about D23 a bit, Daniel.
I mean, I don't know what. I mean, I was kind of just hearing some news and some videos popped up on my feed, and I mean, a lot of I know a lot of footage that they did show, they didn't show to the public. I know that there was the Infinity War footage and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I read about
awesome,
that. Yeah, it sounded really cool.
No one gets to see it until it's made public. So
yeah. Did you read a summary of what happened though?
No, I didn't want to.
I read a summary. So do you not want me to spoil you?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, maybe you should plug your ears.
I mean, okay, I know this much that it has something to do with Thanos and. He was,
yeah.
throwing...
It shows bits of them fighting Thanos, but it shows the Guardians. It shows Spider-Man. It shows Doctor Strange and everybody. The only thing that caught my attention was they had this whole introduction for Thor, how he gets there, and I thought that was cool. He just smashes into something, and then they find him in the debris, or whatever.
Cool.
I think Spider-Man is using an Iron Spider suit or something like that, which is super exciting for me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's not really too much of a spoiler because we've already seen that suit at the end of Homecoming. Yeah. But at least he's using that, which is a bit of a surprise. Well, not really, but it's a bit of a thing. Okay, it's a thing. Yeah, it looked really fun. I mean, it sounded really fun.
All right, well, I mean...
Tom Holland said, This is going to be the greatest movie of all time. Or something like that. So,
gosh.
You know what? I thought my Tom Holland thing, my weird impressions of Tom Holland, was a thing I came up with, but apparently I listened to the Weekly Planet and they've started doing that too. So now we should stop doing that or people will think we're copying them. But
yeah, okay.
But yeah,
Tom
Holland in his weird little girly voice said that it's going to be the biggest movie of all time or something like that because he was so excited about it. So that should be
good for Tom.
Really taken into account. Yeah, good for him.
I mean, I guess that was the biggest thing when it came to Infinity War in that area. And then they did have the Disney Legends or something like that.
What's that?
Well, sorry, there's some background noise. So they did have Disney Legends, which is basically an award that they give to legendary people that I guess are kind of involved with Disney. So they gave one to Mark Hamill, they gave one to Stan Lee. They had a tribute to Jack Kirby. and a bunch of other people, but I didn't get to watch all the videos. I just watched like a couple. And they gave one to Oprah, which is funny, because Oprah. Did you see the Time trailer? What's it called? Can't believe I forget the name. Space in Time, Step in Time, Something in Time trailer with
No,
Oprah.
what's
Did
that?
you see that trailer? Oh my goodness! Am I seriously gonna? I can't believe This is just quite. It's embarrassing. Okay, no, basically it was the remake of the 2004 Disney movie, I think, or something like that. And basically it has Oprah in it and Reese Witherspoon, and it has the girl from The Office, Kelly, Mindy Kaling in it. And so
Huh.
yeah. Wait, let me find the name. Oh, it also has Chris Pine. So Chris Pine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it? A remake of?
It's a remake. Okay. Oh, A Wrinkle in Time. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're making okay. Yeah, I know what A Wrinkle in Time is. I didn't. Yeah, I was like, what the heck is Step in Time? Isn't that like a line from like Mary Poppins or something?
I knew it was Something in Time. I'm really sorry. I never watched it when when it came out, or never heard of it really. So the trailer just popped up, and I'm like, is this a remake or something? And it was. And of course it was first based off a book, then a movie, now it's a remake, and it has Oprah in it. So Oprah, but
that sounds weird.
And
from what I know of that series, it seems really weird. Weird choice of casting that will probably be one of those movies that does really well, that I really wish didn't.
Yeah, only because of the names, maybe.
Yeah,
but the main characters though, the main characters, I haven't seen them anywhere. Really.
Okay.
The kids are the main characters, I guess, but their adults are Chris Pine and people like that. So I don't know.
That's good, because because I knew that movie was I haven't actually seen it, but I know a bit about it, and I might have seen it at one point, really when I was really young. I just don't remember too much of it. But I knew kids were the main characters, and I'm trying to imagine them trying to make Chris Pine and pass them off as kids, and I'm that. Or they're just gonna redo it entirely, and that all just sounds horrible to me. So that's a bit.
Yeah, the trailer gave me mixed feelings. So I guess if I'm actually, I was happy that the trailer. I was partly happy that the trailer didn't tell me exactly what was what was happening really. But the other part was well, that's the only way I can know if it'll be good or not. So, yeah. So it's still, I don't know yet. It's still in that part where I'm not for it, but I'm not against it at the same time. So, yeah. Anyways, that happened, and that was pretty cool, I guess. And they also released the Star Wars behind the scenes video, right? That was a thing.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
They showed new aliens, bits of the new planet Cato Bite, and some bits of also that planet Crate from the last trailer, with the red dust, the really Mad Max looking part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mad Max looking part.
They showed more stuff from that, I think. It looks alright.
Cool. It just provides insight, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyways, that's about it from and of course Incredibles 2. I did follow that.
Did they come out with a trailer or something?
Well, it was another clip that they're not going to make public.
No. When is that coming out?
Yeah. Well, it's coming. Well, the movie's coming out in 2018. I don't know when the actual clip will be released. So. Oh
yeah. The movie. I didn't know that it was coming out that soon.
Yeah, they were gonna do Toy Story 4, I think, in 2018, but then they're like, no, Credibles, I think, is a little bit more important.
Yeah, let's do a movie that actually has a chance. Because they've made too many Toy Stories, and I don't think anybody cares anymore. I think everybody's done.
What?
They shouldn't make a fourth one.
I've been hearing.
The third one was good enough. Just end it there.
I really loved the third one. I agree.
It was okay.
With ending it there,
But
I
there's
don't think
no
that.
reason to make a fourth one, and I don't think anybody wants there to be a fourth one.
I know a lot of people that want there to be a fourth one though.
The only
I mean,
people.
part of me doesn't really care too much. So I mean, like if it's gonna be good, then fine. But if it's gonna come in front of Incredibles, that's what's gonna make me like, hey,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Incredibles was like
gets to go
actually like
first.
super good. So whereas Toy Story was just passable, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah. I mean, I didn't see like Cars 3 or anything like that. So I'm pretty much done with Pixar movies unless there's something
Pixar
new.
sequels, that is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm done with
Oh,
Pixar sequels except for Incredibles, basically.
I heard in one of those like videos of coverage of D23 or whatever that like they're supposed to Pixar's in the works or like had in the beginning stages of this idea where like there's miniature unicorns everywhere or something like that. And
What?
so yeah, I don't know. I just randomly heard that. I'm like, what? And so I'm like, well, if anyone can make it work, I guess it's Pixar. So
That's true. That's
so and then that'd be cool if they stop making sequels and they start, you know, like because Inside Out was the bomb, and I feel like that
Yeah,
wasn't that like the last almost original Pixar.
I
Like
think
was
so.
there
I think
because
that was the last.
Moana
Oh well,
was
no, there was the
Disney.
good dinosaur, and that stunk.
Yeah, that wasn't much.
That was like a
Uh,
dumb movie. That was bad. And then like all those planes ones too, and they were
oh
all
my
bad.
word,
See, like
no.
Pixar's gone a little bit down the toilet because they had good stuff for a while, and then once they started making sequels, they almost stopped
Once they
making good
started,
movies. Even they made
yeah,
even their original ones started to stink, except for Inside Out, which I just
once
think was
they
an
started
isolated case.
once they started building on the original, like building upon what they started, it didn't get good. I mean,
No.
leave the cinematic universe to Marvel, I guess.
Yeah, I
And
don't need to know about I don't really need to know about what Mike and Sully were doing in college, and I don't need to know what Mater is like as a spy, and I don't need to know anything about cars at all. I don't need to know that planes exist. I don't need to know about dinosaurs. I just don't want Pixar to make any more movies, actually.
oh,
I
dude, that's not cool.
I've just decided, yeah, I'm done. They shouldn't
Not
make
cool.
anything. They should let the good ones stand for themselves, and
I hope
do
you're not being
something to
serious right
publicly
now.
discredit all the bad ones and like stop,
No,
like not even have them out. Like they should just make them impossible to get or something.
no, you're a liar.
Yeah, they need to erase what they've done. I'm done.
Oh well, if they erase all the bad stuff, I'd be good with that.
Just erase that from history, and I just don't have any faith anymore. I bet Incredibles 2 will stink, even though I don't want it to.
Incredibles 2 is gonna be awesome, alright? Just chill.
Well,
Chill.
when has Pixar made a
Um,
good sequel?
yeah, that's also true. I mean, the sequels were usually always a step down. So,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess you
at
could
the
say Toy
best.
Story 2 and 3, but those were
Oh, yeah.
in the beginning stages, and I feel
It's
that
true.
Toy Story was a bit like Toy Story is a franchise, whereas all their other movies are just like individual movies.
Yeah, that's true.
And I felt
Yeah,
like
Toy
it's sort of
Story
always
was
been that way.
probably the best, like, series, I think. Pixar-wise, when it comes to series is,
Well, that's the only one
that's
that's had any sequels that are even worth watching.
it's true. I love the second one. The second one's awesome.
Yeah, the second one might have been my favorite. The third one, I don't know why everybody liked the third one. I didn't like the third one. But
What?
the guy who wrote it, Michael Arndt, was gonna originally write the screenplay for The Force Awakens,
Really? That's
which
cool.
which I thought was really dumb because I was like that. I don't think that'll work. That
Uh,
sounds like that's not a good way to go. And eventually, he was either J.J. Abrams just sort of took over with Lawrence Kasdan, or Michael Arndt just decided not to do it, or they all wrote
Imagine
together.
though,
But
like a screenplay writer of like something that he just did like a kids movie going into like a big budget thing.
he
That'd
did
be
a
weird.
kids
Like,
movie, and now he's doing a Star Wars movie. It
I'm
just sounds
partly
dumb.
curious to see how that would end up.
Yeah, but
It makes
it's
me
more like a
curious.
morbid curiosity. It's not.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to see what that would be like and have it actually like ruin the Star Wars universe or something. So yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they also released new stuff about Star Wars Land, which is called Galaxy's Edge, or as I like to call it, Samsung Galaxy's Edge.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Dang.
I mean, it's a really dumb name.
That's
Somebody
so
somebody was
funny.
posting about it on Twitter, and they're like, "I'm glad I don't have to like call it Star Wars Land anymore." Hashtag Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like, is somebody just using a hashtag that they posted this on their Samsung phone, or you click on it, yeah, and I mean, that's what it's called, which I think is dumb, but that's okay.
Yeah, that is actually pretty. I didn't make when you first told me that I was like, oh, okay. And then Samsung Galaxy Edge. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a bad name, but it looks okay. It looks cool. I guess it's a new planet, but they have like I guess I saw the Millennium Falcon there. I'm not sure. I might have think I caught a glimpse of the slave one, but I could be wrong.
But there was then like I watched this little video about like the new hotel that they were gonna build, and it's like almost like a story mode hotel, I guess.
That's cool.
And yeah, and like you dress up and everything, and you stay there, and it seemed pretty cool.
See, yeah, if it's Star Wars, I care. I guess for the most part, if anything in Disney parks, I pretty much care about.
Uh-huh.
I like Disney parks almost. I bet more than I like any of Disney's like movies. Like it's more interesting to me. It's more interesting to me in the context of a amusement park, for some reason.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I kind of get what you mean by more interesting.
Like if they made the Sorcerer's Apprentice land at Disney parks, I would go. And like it's Sorcerer's Apprentice, like the one with Nicolas Cage.
That movie?
Yeah.
What?
Like I would be interested in it if they
movie.
made that like at Disney parks. Like I don't care. I think Disney parks does everything right. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay then. Very cool.
Which is why, like,
you know
in 2 weeks,
be...
I'm gonna be going there, and so I won't
That's
be able
exciting.
to record a podcast. But yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be exciting, except for the people who, aren't going, and for the people who will have to miss out on a week of podcast.
Oh yeah. Hey, maybe I'll do a solo podcast.
You could do a solo podcast, or we could like record in advance, but I don't like that idea very much. So.
You don't like me doing a solo podcast?
I just bet it would. I bet both would be really boring because one of them we wouldn't be able to talk about something current, and then the other one would be like one-on-one, like just one person talking into a mic. And I've listened to solo podcasts before. It does not work. I think three people in a podcast usually works the best, but 2 people's all right.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Hey, I will record an episode and I'll send it to you, and if you give me the okay, then I'll post it. How about that?
That sounds good. I mean, I need to fall asleep somehow, so the best way to do that is to listen to a solo podcast. So.
A solo. Hey, maybe I could do an ASMR.
That's a horrible idea. I would not let you put that out, and I would not listen to that. I would delete it.
But creepy. I guess you could fall asleep to it.
I could. Just I'm not sure I want to.
Is there anything else from D23 that you heard about and that was cool?
Not really. No. That was pretty much it. That's the thing is I didn't pay much attention. I didn't know anything about D23, which is why I asked you to talk about it. The only things I knew about were the Star Wars things.
Oh, yes, of course. So. Yeah. I just saw, like, all these random, like, announcements for different things, and I'm like, wait, why is this all happening at once? And then I realized, oh, yeah, they're Disney's Expo thing. Pretty cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, it used to not matter, but now that they own, like, Marvel, and then they own Star Wars, and they own everything, so now it actually matters.
It's true, yeah. There's more reason for an expo, which I guess makes sense. I'd go, hey, like, if they're going to release some footage that I could only see there, like, yeah, count me in. I'd totally make it work.
To see that Infinity War stuff, I'd go for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like they showed any, like, if they didn't show, like, the first 5 minutes of, like, The Last Jedi or anything, because I think if they did that, most people would, like, destroy the internet with it.
Yeah.
That saw it. And then the other people would just be enraged they didn't get to see it, and they would, like, threaten Disney, so.
They threaten Disney. Yeah, that'd
Like,
be
yeah.
fun.
But I think doing it with like Infinity War just drives up hype. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, if that's all we have to talk about for D23, then I guess we can move on now.
Yeah, to Doctor Who news, which is I'm not sure there'll be too much to say about it, but they've announced the new Doctor. It's Jodie Whittaker, so it's the first female Doctor. So that's a thing. I don't know. I don't particularly care. I guess some people were upset about it, and then all the feminists were like upset at them for it, and so then they were really happy about it, and they said like, this is a new thing for sci-fi, or something like that. But it's not, because like all of the Star Wars movies recently have just like the main character's a girl, and then
Yeah.
before that there was stuff like Alien, and then there was stuff, I mean, like Resident Evil, and like it's
Yeah.
always been a thing. But that's okay,
Even in
and I don't
Doctor Who,
particularly mind. What do you think
I
about
mean,
it?
Karen Gillan was quite the main character, and when Matt Smith was the Doctor. So I mean,
Well, yeah, I guess Karen Gillan was like a bit of a main character, but from this article I was reading on Today, that is not the popular way of looking at it. The popular way of looking at it is that they're just plot devices. All the female companions are just plot devices, and so it's dumb, or something like that.
okay.
Whereas now, the main character is the Doctor, and that's not a plot device or something, and that's different somehow. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, considering I haven't been invested in Doctor Who lately, like just because
Neither have I. Yeah.
I guess Peter Capaldi.
Peter
Like,
Capaldi
I
is just
watched the
boring.
first couple, and I just
Same.
couldn't. Like I was like, oh, like Matt Smith carried that, like those couple seasons for me, and I mean, David. Why do I forget people?
David Tennant.
David Tennant. I remembered it actually before you reminded me. David Tennant was good, and it was like David Tennant was really good, and then Matt Smith was awesome, and then Peter Capaldi kind of just kind of made it boring. So
He made it really boring.
So hey,
So,
I
yeah,
hope
they
like,
got
I give it,
the writing got worse, I think, in those seasons though, with Peter Capaldi,
yeah,
because it was
yeah.
like less things made sense. It was like intentionally not making sense, and like nothing actually like interesting happened. It just got boring, and you just have to like watch them seem to care about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like you just lose investment, I thought. But
Yeah, part of me
I've
wants
heard people who agree. So
part of me wants to go back and rewatch the Matt Smith seasons. They were so good.
yeah, they were really good. But yeah, Jodie Whittaker, first female Doctor.
Hey, I'll give it a watch. I'll like, you know what?
I'll watch it.
I'll give it a chance.
I'll try it again. Yeah, that's the good thing about Doctor Who is if you hate the casting, just wait a few years. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it all just changed. The secondary characters will die off, and the main character will change gender or face or person. So
yeah, that's interesting. I would have liked, like, there are a few other ideas I heard. Like, I think somebody wanted Tilda Swinton to be the next Doctor. I thought that would be really cool. That would work.
That would be awesome. I don't know how they would get her.
No, that would be hard. And then
I don't
somebody
know
else.
how they would get
I heard
her.
somebody else said Richard Ayoade, who was a character in IT Crowd, which was this British sitcom show that was really funny, and he would have been like the perfect Doctor as well. But I'm cool with this. This is interesting enough. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, so, but it's the 13th Doctor or something.
Ooh.
But weren't there only supposed to be like 10, or were there supposed to be 12?
Yes. Okay, so I thought that they made Peter Capaldi an exception because, like, he requested another life from the Time Lords or something like that, and then they
he
gave it
did?
to him. Yeah, I thought that was like a
how does this
specific
happen?
thing. Exactly. That's what when you told me, because you texted me earlier today, and you told me. I was like, how is that gonna work? Is he gonna request for another life again? How? I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
I think they should have ended the show, but that's
I
alright.
really do.
I'll still watch it. Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's all for Doctor Who, right? Just that little segment.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about that.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
So like moving on, I guess. What was we had a review coming up, or what we're gonna be doing?
Yeah, let's dive into War for the Planet of the Apes.
All right, sounds good.
I went to go see it on Wednesday. I went
Lucky.
to yeah, it was cool. It was at AMC. They gave away like posters and
Oh,
all this
lucky.
cool stuff. And it was like a triple feature. So we watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and
Oh,
War for the
that's
Planet of the Apes,
awesome.
all in a row. I left at like 3, and I didn't get back until like midnight. Um, it was a large chunk of my life that was wasted, or not
That's
exact.
crazy.
I won't say wasted just because I love these movies, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was fun, and I got to see it before the premiere, so that was fun, and
yeah.
it was good. What would you think of it, Daniel?
Oh well, in terms of just the third movie, because
Yeah,
I
like
didn't get
did
a
what?
chance to see the triple feature, which was,
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I
You
really
didn't.
wanted to see it, but
Sorry, I
I
forgot.
was busy. No, that's fine. So I didn't get to see it until Saturday, which it was still good. Like I still
Hmm.
really enjoyed it, and plus we had just had that marathon, kind of marathon, when you were
Yeah,
here
in
visiting.
June. Yeah.
So it's not like I hadn't seen them in a while.
Hmm.
So yeah. So watching the movie, I had really high expectations for it. So I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't think they fully met my expectations,
Oh really?
and yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not gonna give it a bad rap just because it didn't meet my really high
Hmm.
expectations. Um,
Well,
I did.
could you rank them? Let's just rank them to start off with them, I
Oh,
guess.
okay. Rank them again.
Yeah, like just put them in order of which one was your favorite, like down to your least favorite.
Oh, okay. So it's hard because in terms of like rewatchability, I feel like I can rewatch the first one a lot more than I can rewatch the second one.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the way the first one flows, the way that there's questions, the way I mean, like it all works out so cool and so smoothly, and I like that. And
Hmm.
with the second one, it's a little bit more. I feel like you have to be a little bit more patient with it, and it's a little bit more of a I don't know, like a slower movie, I guess.
It really is,
And
yeah, and
then
it's like 2 hours long instead of an hour and a half. So
it's a lot it's a lot simpler movie, I guess.
that's true.
So I do the first time, however, the first time I watched um, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, I liked it a lot better than Rise. And the more like I watched Rise and I watched Dawn again, and after, of course, after the hype, so I knew my opinion was solid and it wasn't just, I guess, in that sense. So I did like Dawn, but the more I watched them over, I guess, time, I have liked Rise more. But it's hard though because I really loved Dawn that first time I watched it because it was it felt new and it felt fresh, and even though it was really long, it still was like my heart was pounding and it was good. So um and I mean all three movies are so different though. Like this last movie, I think it was really it's just different from the rest of the films. Like, so I really love that too,
Yeah, me too.
because a lot of movie trilogies or movie cinematic universes even they like to like kind of I mean, take a lot from a previous movie or another movie and use that and have a same theme, like a same feel to it, so that you know what kind of movie you're watching. But this did it differently, and so I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, with the sort of story that they were giving you, there was no way to make all of the movies the same to begin with. You know, like every movie had to be
True,
completely
true,
different to end up where it had to end up. Like it couldn't have gone any other way.
yeah,
But even
true.
still, it was unpredictable as to how it was going to end, which I thought was
Uh
really
huh.
cool. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know for the third one. Of course, we always get into spoilers. I don't know why I even ask anymore. So, there definitely are going to be spoilers ahead. But are we gonna use that awesome format that we wanted to continue trying with reviewing movies?
yeah, yeah. But first, yeah, we should just like put them in order. I think my favorite is
Oh yeah.
definitely War for the Planet of the Apes. Then which is the new one, right? And then the next one is Rise, and then I think my least favorite
Yeah.
is Dawn. So
Dang, you liked War?
I
That's
really,
awesome.
really, really liked War. And I went to go see the triple feature with patron Hunt the Gunter, and we both agreed that War for the Planet of the Apes was the best one.
Dude,
So,
that's awesome.
yep.
That's awesome. Like, I don't know why I wasn't really like accounting for War. I don't know because I thought we were talking about like the original, like the first
No.
two.
No,
Okay.
all three.
Yeah, that's hard. I don't know. That's like I think I can totally see where you're coming from though, saying that War was the best.
Hmm.
Like it had so many awesome like qualities, and it kind of was the best of both worlds in a sense, where
It was.
it was kind of slow, but it still was. I don't know. It still was like the plot was still kind of intricate and it really intriguing. So yeah, so it was the best of both worlds, but I don't know. For me to compare movies, I have to watch them and kind of assess them a little bit more because I don't think too much. I guess when I watch a movie for the first time, I guess.
Oh
So
yeah, so
I just
that's
kind of
basically what I was doing when I was watching it. We had just watched the first two, and then we're watching the third one, saying like, is this one going to be better or worse?
yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was where
Yeah.
most of my interest came in. So yeah, okay, I guess we should just dive into the review at that point. But
Uh-huh.
sure. So
All right.
what was our thing again? So we talk about three different things, and it was like plot, characters, and then like overall filmmaking, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Quality.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, what did you think of the plot?
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked it a lot. Like we said, it's intricate and it's kind of the best of both worlds. Where it was slow in some sense, but it was intriguing still, and like it had my heart pounding at a lot of moments, and like I was into it, of course, because then I had high expectations and I wanted to enjoy it, and so I was like, the way it started off with kind of like with the text. I thought that was an awesome way to start it off.
It was
kind of,
really cool.
the 15 years ago we had the Rise, and 5 years ago we had the whatever, and now there's the waging war. And so like for them to give Caesar this drive to of revenge, I guess, because of what happened, and with the plot is basically his family gets killed, I guess, besides his son, his youngest son, and by this colonel dude who's kind of filled with hatred, I guess, basically, and he doesn't like the apes, so he's gonna kill them, and so he tried to kill Caesar.
Well, I
his
don't think it's that he
attackers-
doesn't like the apes. I think it's like progresses more, and then it's sort of shown that he is almost making like sacrifices to keep the rest of humanity alive, and he thinks that in terms of like evolution,
Yeah.
the apes are like
Yeah.
a higher form of evolution, but like but obviously he's biased to the human race, so he wants to wipe them out to keep the human race alive.
He's still gonna fight for it.
Yeah.
Even though this new thing is emerging.
Like
which
he
is
knows they're
cool.
better, but he wants to wipe them all out, so then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he wants to defy everything that happens in history.
He wants to defy, I guess, evolution in his own way
Yeah.
or something. So yeah.
Yeah, and so like there were so many cool layers and aspects to each character and each plot point, and so you could see it from so many different ways. So like you have the beginning of the film where like up until it's kind of like an introduction, getting back into the world until the point where I think his wife and son die and get killed,
Mm-hmm.
because you're getting introduced in how the world has changed once again since the last film, and that's what they kind of did in Dawn too, where they introduced you into how much the world has changed, and then kind of started the plot and made things go further on. And so they did that with this one, and things have changed even more, and so they go along with that, and then the event happens, and he gets kind of filled with revenge, I guess. And the comparison between him and Koba was like awesome. I love that
It
so
was
much.
super cool, and like he'd have like these sort of visions of Koba coming in, like talking to him and stuff like that, and it was super spooky. And yeah, it worked
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it was awesome. It was like it was just one of the layers that they added to the plot, and that made it so much more than just a flat kind of stale movie. And so he has to separate from his pack or whatever, his ape pack, his ape colony, because he wants to go find this colonel and get his revenge, I guess. And
Yeah.
so Maurice comes and another ape comes. I forget his name. And then, like, I guess along their
Well, what? So
way.
as Rocket, it was
Oh
Maurice,
yeah, yeah,
and
Rocket and Maurice.
then there was a gorilla. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah.
What was the gorilla's name? Do you remember?
The, no, I have no clue. It's hard to remember the names of apes.
That sounds really wise somehow.
Um.
It's hard to
So.
remember the names of apes.
And yeah, so but they end up finding the girl, right? The girl. I'm gonna call her the girl. And she like he kills Caesar kills probably her father, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
And so Maurice is just awesome because he's not gonna leave her, and so she becomes a part of the journey, and she's once again another layer in the plot that kind of adds more to it, and she is the introduction into kind of the the main motivation or another point of motivation for the villain, the Colonel dude,
Mm-hmm.
considering her. You're like, wait, why is she's alive but she still has a side effect of the disease, which is that she can't talk. And so like that was really cool. And I don't know if you know this because you haven't seen the first Planet of the Apes,
No,
but
I haven't.
like I don't know if you got the nod that she was Nova, and basically she's like one of the main characters in Planet of the Apes.
She is.
And yeah, and her thing is that she can't speak, and she's a part of this colony of people that can't speak. So when this is, I don't know, like I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's been out since like 60s. So, but
1968 or something like that.
yeah, and so she's a character in it, and she's like with a colony of people that can't speak, and so the main character is like, wait, so apes have evolved, and I guess humans have devolved and become these beings that can't speak or whatever. So yeah, and it was so cool. It was such a cool nod. But it actually was a part of the plot, so it wasn't just like this random thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, it
only
was like
random
part of the
thing,
disease, like it morphed or something like that, and made them,
yeah,
yeah, unable to speak, and so yeah.
yeah, and the only thing like what like the that how she got her name, I guess, which was just this metal piece of thing that said Nova on it. So
No, it's because that's like the name of a car, and that was like the
okay,
yeah.
I figured it was something like that, but I'm like, part of me was like, that's pretty random, but okay,
Yeah,
So,
there's this random piece of metal that says Nova. It's just sitting around. That'd be
but
funny.
that's how she gets her name, and that's how everyone knows. Like, oh my word, she's from the original. So I feel like if I watched the original again, just Planet of the Apes, I'd be like, I'd appreciate it more,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's cool. I like to say the word appreciate a lot, but it's
Yeah, you
true.
really
I
do.
would. Um,
You also
yeah,
like saying
and
so much more.
so much more. I hope you don't mind. I'm just kind of explaining the plot. I figured that
No, that was
you
good.
know
Yeah.
might help review it. So they go, and if I can remember correctly, they find one of the colonel's bases, and they get this information from a monkey or an ape that it was a traitor. Now this was very interesting. This whole like apes, being traitors and going to this side where they want to wipe out the apes. And so in the trailers and even the posters, I'm like, how are they gonna find a motivation like so much that the apes would do that and just become a traitor to ape kind in itself? And I thought it worked, and it was another layer of the plot, and it because it made sense though. Like when they didn't have to really explain it, but the way they kind of made it happen, I liked. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
It developed well. It like, yeah, it was just, it remained interesting somehow
a
throughout.
lot of
So.
them was out of fear, right? Like that was their motivation was
Mm-hmm.
fear, and so fear of Caesar because they were on Koba's side or something, or just fear in general of the enemy. So why not join the enemy? Well, anyways, they end up
It
getting
worked well. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
very interesting aspect to the story. I didn't expect to happen. So.
yeah, yeah. And so they get some information from a trader ape about um about how there's gonna be like an army coming down, and it's probably gonna like be there to wipe out the rest of the apes, and it's more reinforcements for the colonel, who's this main bad dude, to wipe out the apes. And so it seems like a solid plot, and you're like, okay, I wonder how it's gonna all go down. And so they end up trying to go to this place, and they end up meeting another character along the way. That's another ape, and he was kind of there for the, you know,
He was comedic
comedic.
relief, yeah.
Yeah, and it
But he
worked
also
though.
like provided extra story details about like how other cultures of apes got smart and like ran away and or got
Uh
killed and
huh.
that sort of thing. So like it
Yeah.
provided useful other things. And wasn't his name like Bad Ape? I think that was actually just his name.
Was his name Bad Ape?
I
Really?
think that's what it even said in the credits, yeah.
That's funny.
Because he points
Well,
at himself and he goes Bad Ape. So like
yeah.
I guess his actual name was Bad Ape. So
That's funny. Um,
anyways,
uh,
yeah, sorry
clever,
I
I
cut you off
guess.
a bit, but yeah.
No, no, yeah. Um, and then he's like, well, I mean, his comedic relief isn't. It's comedic relief, of course, but it still didn't seem like annoying. Almost, it
Mhm.
was like, it was in itself. It was a little bit different than other forms of comedic relief because it was kind of just like he's just kind of like his facial expressions were just really funny. And so I don't know, like the way his body moved and the way his facial expressions were. Normally it's like kind of the actions of what the comedic relief person does or thing does, but with him it was his actual like way of expressing himself, which was cool. So
Yeah, I
I
mean, I actually think I would have liked his comedic relief a bit more if everybody in the theater wasn't cracking up. For some reason, it
yeah,
ruins it for me because I want to process the joke instead of like when everybody else is laughing. I sometimes I just laugh when other people are laughing, so then I want to analyze if I actually think it's funny or not, or if I'm just laughing because everybody else is.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it
there
was
were like
actually funny
maybe
or not, but
yeah, I mean, there was maybe like one that I probably wouldn't actually laugh at, but it's not like it was bad. It was just, it was
yeah,
okay.
it's not like
So,
the humor
but
didn't land. It's
over,
almost just yeah, it was unexpected humor.
yeah, but I mean, it still worked, I think.
Yeah, it
Um,
totally worked. I liked it.
so then they go to this. So he tells them about this place or whatever, and that's where the colonel is right now, supposedly waiting for recruitments, and um, and so he tells them a little bit more about this human zoo or whatever he calls it, and that's where his like that's where his wait what I might have missed that, but it was like where his son was or something like that. I don't know.
The
Was that
human.
something that I
I guess he was talking
so
about. He might have been talking. I assumed he was talking about like a quarantine zone or something like
uh-huh
that. So then I guess they'd end up being like a war base or something like that for the colonel,
yeah
and
yeah
that's
okay
where they ended up catching all of the apes
uh-huh
and basically made them build up the walls and all this stuff by like sort of slave labor with them because of fear of being beaten or fear of their friends being killed or that sort of thing. So they ended up getting this wall built, and then all of the apes snuck out. But before that, while they're building up the wall, Caesar sort of made the conclusion, which I thought was really well done, like how you progressively get more details just by watching, and the fact that they're wanting this wall built, and he says like, we need this wall sort of stuff. He eventually figures out that the people are coming to like destroy them, and they're not coming to help them destroy the apes. So then the apes break out and just sort of watch from the sidelines as this war takes place a little bit.
Yeah, and part of me was like, thinking how, well, I particularly wasn't, but I was thinking about like other people who were coming into this movie kind of expecting something of a fighting war film almost, you know, and getting what they got.
And then it
and
wasn't.
I could see how they could be unhappy or misled maybe. And especially with the marketing too. I felt like the marketing was misleading a bit.
It really was.
They totally projected it to be way more of a fighting film, but there was just that one scene.
Yeah.
So
the one scene at the beginning, mostly.
And I mean the title, yeah, that too. And the title still works for it because technically it is a war for the Planet of the Apes because, you know, two sides are fighting, but not, I guess, the apes themselves. So,
yeah. It was weird.
So it worked, but, you know, part of me was also expecting something a little bit different, but it didn't disappoint me as I think as someone else would be disappointed by it, you know, and thinking of what it was. So, so I guess I probably just have to let it sink in a little bit more. Maybe if I watch it again, I could see whether I liked it better than the other ones, because it's just hard for me because I change my opinion a lot. So I don't know if you can tell, but I change my opinion a lot about different things, and because I always have a different perspective when I watch something again or, you know, go about it a different way. So yeah. But anyways, sorry, continue. There was that last battle, which was like, it was pretty awesome though.
It was.
And,
yeah.
Of course. So actually, I think what we missed is that they had captured all of the apes from Caesar's colony while he like abandoned them, I guess, to go get.
Yeah,
his
he
revenge.
basically abandoned them to go kill the colonel, but then the colonel was there with them, and he captured all the apes. So then Caesar got himself captured, and then broke them all out, eventually.
Yeah. So,
but
I mean,
before that, he had this like really cool scene with the colonel where the colonel got infected by. Nova had like this doll that she gave to Caesar, and the colonel stole it, or like just took it out of his cage, and eventually got infected and diseased because of it, and then he couldn't talk anymore, and so he wanted, like, because of how crazy he is, like he wanted to kill himself for the protection of the rest of the humans. Also,
but
because he's become the thing that he. What?
We have to take a step back real fast on that one, because there was also like hints towards that throughout the entire movie, where as when Caesar and his group of small, like, two apes and the girl, I think, were going and trying to go to the base, they found dead bodies, and they were finding these weird kind of like things that were happening, and they were wondering, why is this dude killing his own men? And then they realized it was because of this disease that had like morphed, right, and it was changing.
Mm-hmm.
So
and so he would kill them. Apparently, he had killed his own son and stuff like that. So he eventually got this and was trying to kill himself, but he wanted to die, right? And so Caesar goes in there to kill him, and he puts the gun against his head, and then he can't do it, and then, but he doesn't really stop the colonel from killing himself. So I don't really think that really means too much good.
I think it did.
I understand how it, like, he wasn't gonna kill himself, but like he wasn't gonna kill the colonel, but he didn't stop the colonel from killing himself.
Only because
because he wanted to be put out of his stupidity or something. But
I guess if he wanted, I guess he wanted it to make it the Colonel's choice and not make it about revenge.
Yeah.
So that's why he left him the gun, not because he wanted him to die. Because if the Colonel wants to, not live this way, if that wouldn't be living for him, then I guess
Yeah.
it's in some terms it makes
Like it makes
sense.
logical sense, but like it was still sort of uh pretty terrible. Just like that scene, Caesar's just standing there and like watches him kill himself. So
Yeah,
I mean, it was a bit gruesome, but
it
anyways, there
was.
wasn't any way he could have saved the colonel anyways from what happened. He ends up
Yeah.
getting out. He blows up things. They save the apes. Then the whole army, the whole like new army that came, like rushes up and was like cheering in their victory because they blew up the whole place. And then they were cheering, and that started an avalanche, in which like it killed literally all of them in the avalanche, and then all of the apes just climbed up trees, which
Yeah.
I thought like made sense, but it was also like really disappointing to me. That felt like a really cheap way to end it, even though it makes total sense. It wasn't climactic
Yeah.
enough, I almost think.
I liked how, like, I guess you could say they used it as a bit of a cop out, but to be honest, you're right. It does make sense that an
Yeah.
avalanche would happen. That amount of explosions in that area. They're in the mountains, by the way. I don't know if you said that, but
Yeah.
in that area, it makes sense why an avalanche would occur. So,
I just
I
think
didn't.
at that point Caesar had gotten like an arrow in him and all this stuff. And then spoiler alert, I mean we spoiled the entire movie, but spoiler alert, he'd like die he keels over and dies at the end of the movie once they get to like this nice place where they can all live. But I think it would have been more like resonating and like it would have mattered more if he had died right there in the avalanche and then they moved on and they went to that place by themselves and then founded a new land like in memory of him instead of he brings them there and then dies. Like if he
Yeah.
died in that avalanche, it would have made more sense to me.
I mean, I agree. I think he should have died the same way, like of the arrow. He didn't even have to die in the avalanche. Maybe like even if it was just after that scene or something like that, where
Yeah.
but for him to walk all the way, I'm trying to imagine how long it would take for them to
Yeah.
get to a nice place like that.
And he's
And
hiding it
so
from all of them until he gets there and then he just dies.
yeah,
Like
and the one girl is still in her winter coat until they get there, and like part of me is like, wait, that doesn't make much sense.
I don't know.
They've been,
Yeah, he should have died then, but like the fact that he at least died at the end was all right with me. Like I don't know.
huh,
That was the only part of that movie. Like that was literally the only part of the movie that I didn't like. And everything else I
yeah,
thought was like literally perfect. So,
yeah, I agree.
yeah. It's not
Um,
Baby Driver good, but it's good. So in terms of the plot, I'd give it like a 17 out of 18.
okay, I'd give it, yeah, I'll give it. You're gonna, I'll give it a 16.8.
Oh my gosh. If we're doing decimals, I'll give it like a 17.5, but I don't like decimals, so I'll just stick with 17.
Okay. Um,
All right. And then let's move it up. Let's go a bit faster cuz we're almost an hour into it.
it's
Um
true.
we're making these longer for you guys. You're welcome. But also, sorry.
Uh,
um
all right.
yeah,
So
so as
we
far
move
as
on to
characters goes.
characters.
Yeah.
What did you think about the characters, Bob?
Well, quite obviously Caesar was very well developed having like been, for all three movies were about him.
Uh huh.
Um I really liked I liked Woody Harrelson's character, was the Colonel or whatever,
Uh huh.
Colonel Jenkins. I'm just gonna call him Colonel Jenkins because I don't think they actually gave him a last name or any name
Uh-huh.
just other than Colonel.
The
But
Colonel.
I thought he was really like he made sense as a character, and they made his motivations make sense, which I thought was really good and well done. Bad Ape was surprisingly good and interesting. And he added like an extra layer that I thought was interesting about like how some of them learned to talk if they were around humans more and the other ones didn't very well.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a really neat addition to this movie is that, like Caesar and Bad Ape were talking a bunch and then the rest of them talked only a little bit because they weren't that good at talking. because they hadn't had that much
Yeah, because
experience around
Caesar
humans.
was around humans more
Mm-hmm.
than the other apes, so it makes sense why he could be able to talk better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that a lot too.
Yeah, it made a lot more sense. And then Nova was interesting, and it was really sad. I liked that giant gorilla who like saved Caesar's life, but like plucked that little flower out of that tree for Nova. Like that was a good scene, and
Uh-huh.
he was really well developed. And then obviously Maurice has been my favorite character in all three movies always, and he made it to the end, and he just it was made me so happy that he had like so much screen time in this movie, which I just loved.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
real quick. I just thought like it's kind of cool to see how far that they've come.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like from the first movie though. I just always picture that scene where he meets everyone and they're in the cages or whatever. And now they're, you know, like in the third movie where they're so developed. I think it's so
They've
cool
known
to
each
just,
other for 15 years. They can talk, and like it's crazy.
yeah, it's cool to think how far it's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and how developed they are. So sorry, you can go back to talking about the characters, but
I was just gonna say I like. There was also that ape that was I guess they call them donkeys when they're apes that like are turncoats.
uh-huh.
And so yeah, that one donkey gorilla DK. Basically, it was
Okay.
Donkey Kong. Let's just call him Donkey Kong because he's a gorilla. This is a donkey. Donkey Kong. I liked Donkey Kong. He was cool. I liked that you could see the struggle, like with what he was thinking, and then how at the end he makes that decision. He fires the rocket launcher at that other
That
character
was
that they'd been developing.
awesome.
But what was
Yeah.
terrible, like, so he saved Caesar there, but like it was also sort of heart wrenching because you also see that guy who was almost about to kill Caesar going throughout the movie, and he was like, sort of, you thought he was a little bit on the ape side because he wasn't that horrible of a
Yeah.
person, and then like he sort of assured them at one point like he wasn't gonna kill apes when the fighting started, and then at the last second he makes the wrong decision and gets
It
blown up
costs
for
him
it.
his life.
It
Yeah.
was terrible. It made me sort of sad. But either way, he had to die
Really?
because of he would have died either way because of the avalanche. But
I feel bad now because that scene kind of made me happy.
I mean, it was super cool how like he changed, and then Donkey Kong is like, "Yep, I'm about to die," and they just put a bullet in his head. But yeah, I thought that was like it was a really interesting idea that like the humans on their side and the gorilla wasn't, and then at the end, the gorilla ends up being on their side and the human makes the wrong decision, and
Uh-huh.
it really worked well, and it was interesting to see that those characters develop, seeing as how they didn't really have much screen time other than as like antagonists. You didn't like see them; they didn't talk. Like I don't actually think that one guy had any lines of dialogue almost at all, except for like a little tiny bit at the beginning of the movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, he
Are you
had
talking about
almost
the guy
no-
who was blown up?
Yeah, the guy who ended up getting blown up by the rocket launcher. He had almost
had
no
that-
dialogue.
Yeah, he had that awesome like beginning scene that introduced everything.
Yeah.
For, that first battle. And that was about it. You kind of just saw him maybe a scene or two.
And you understood him and like what he was going through and
Yeah.
like everything that he was thinking without actually having to hear any dialogue from him, which was
Uh-huh.
really really well handled.
Agreed, yeah.
Characters 18 out of 18 for sure.
Yeah. Fine. I'll agree with you. I'll give it an 18 out of 18.
Yes, good job, Daniel. That's the first time you've given anything an 18 out of 18 on the show.
I've conformed so
You've
much.
conformed. And then after that, I guess, in terms of quality filmmaking, the CG looked really good. Like, it was indistinguishable from, like, you knew it was CG, obviously, but it didn't look like it.
It
Because
improved a lot
it
from the
looked
first
real.
film.
It
Let's
improved
just
a lot
say
from the
that.
first film, and it didn't improve that much, surprisingly, from the second film. They looked really good in both, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Totally.
all looked really good. It didn't ever feel like Michael Bay with all the explosions. Everything looked like it was really well done. I liked the snow effects that they used or something. Like I just thought the sets were really well made. Like when they were in that the ski building,
Yeah.
like on the ski lifts and stuff like that. Like that looked really good.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much to say there. Like it looked Yeah, it looked all right. There wasn't anything I thought was amazing as far as the like the shots. I didn't think there was like any like particularly good long sweeping shots or anything like that. There wasn't
I do have to
any.
mention one shot though.
Okay.
It's not probably what you're thinking, like long sweeping, but it's I really liked it. It's the one where Caesar falls into the water after he's chasing the colonel, and he falls into the water, and you see him from a long distance shot,
Oh
and he
my
falls and he goes in the
gosh.
water, and then he goes up like this in the stream, and all of a sudden the camera just stays there, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and then he's right in front of the camera when he comes up.
That
I
okay.
love that
Yeah, now
shot.
that shot was that I forgot about that. That was amazing. That was
Yeah.
really well done. That was a really cool shot.
I was
It
so
looked
hoping
really
that they would do that. Like they wouldn't, cut. I'm like, please, 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 and then it happened, and I was just like, yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Other than that, though, I didn't think there's anything particularly noteworthy. The sound design was like what you'd expect from a basic action movie. It didn't do anything crazy. They didn't have a lot of music in it, obviously, other than the soundtrack. Which I guess I should
Okay,
talk
I
about
love
the soundtrack. The
actually.
soundtrack was the best one of all three, for sure, by far,
I agree
definitely.
with that. Yeah.
And it was done by Michael Giacchino, who did Rogue One and Doctor Strange.
Hey, that's cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know
he's
that.
done. I guess he also did Spider-Man: Homecoming. So
He
he's
did?
done.
Really?
Yeah, he just
He's
does
got
everything.
a lot of good ones there.
Yeah, War was definitely a really really good soundtrack, and it stood out. What I don't like
I
about
totally
soundtracks
agree.
is when they don't like that. You just go through the movie and that's in the background and you don't notice it. That this soundtrack like stood out, and they mixed it up so it got louder and like it stood out more and all this stuff. It didn't.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
made me get into it even more because there were some certain, sounds that were very cool.
Yeah, they had they created really good themes for each of the
And
characters, and you could
some
tell.
of them, based on the, I feel like they were based on the like original one. Like I know they used like some of the original sounds, like some of the original tunes in Rise. Like when they were starting to attack the city, I guess I could, they put that, and they didn't necessarily do it like the exact same like sound or song or whatever, but they kind of, I felt like they kind of did it in a way that I could see in Planet of the Apes. So
Yeah,
it was
it
cool.
it worked. I mean, I didn't watch the original. I still haven't
Which you
watched
need
that.
to.
Yeah, you'll have to sell me on that later.
Okay.
But I as of yet don't really want to see it. So
Okay. Well.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it was a really well done soundtrack that had a pretty good shot. The CG looked great. There wasn't anything to complain about.
Which is always good.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the quality. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
amazing, blew my mind, but there was nothing wrong with it. Whereas the plot blew my mind except for one thing I thought was wrong with it, and since this had nothing wrong with it, I'll give it an 18.
Okay then. Wait, we're rating what now again?
Well, just the quality,
The quality?
overall. Yeah.
Oh, overall. Okay. Overall I'd give it a 17.
Okay. That's that's fair.
If I
Um,
was doing decimals though, I would give it a 17.6. So it's in the higher 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this was better in terms of directing, in terms of CG, and in terms of scoring than all the other ones. So
Yes.
It
Yeah,
improved.
yeah.
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 they definitely improved over the three movies, which makes sense
Uh-huh.
considering as how like the first one was like what 2009, 2011.
Something like that.
Somewhere around
I
there.
thought it was 2011, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, over the course of like 6
That would make
years, they made a
sense, though.
trilogy, and there was so much that changed in terms of technology over those years that, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I think the movie deserves a 17 point. Like I'll do decimals for this just because I think 18 should be reserved for like only the best movies. I'll
Oh
give
wait,
it
so this is the overall rating?
this now. Now we're going on to the overall rating.
Oh, and the last one was quality?
Yeah, last one was
Oh, yeah.
quality.
Yeah, I'll give the quality an 18.
Sure. Okay.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, overall movie, I'll give like a 17.6. No, I'll give it a 17.7 Lego Pigs. Yep.
Okay. Well, I already said I'd give it a 17.6. So.
Yeah, I've just one upped you. That's all.
As you usually do.
I always have to. You know, that's why I'm here. I think that this movie it's at least in my top 15. I don't think it's like in my top 10 movies of all time, but it's in my top 15 for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I hate rating these things. I just like watching them and enjoying them.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's only like I want to keep a list of like my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But I don't like. It's not like I'd put Spider-Man: Homecoming on my list of favorite movies because it's just that was a good movie. It didn't blow my mind or anything. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've
All
gone
right.
just about as long as we went for a review of 2 separate movies last time. So I think I like this format. I think we're going to make them maybe an hour in the future. I think I like the
jeez.
length.
All right.
I like the length. I think it works.
Well, hey, listeners, you can always count on double speed. So.
You can always use double speed. And if you really hate long episodes and you want us to do 45-minute ones again, you can tweet us using the Twitter handle @GoshDanielPod.
And I believe that we'll be using timestamps, I guess, in the description probably, to let you know when we're doing certain things. When we're in this episode, when we start the review for War for the Planet of the Apes, or when we start talking about D23. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have a timestamp for like when we talk about news, and then when we talk about the actual movie. So yeah, you can skip that. So that'll be a thing that happens more in the future. We could always use your help, like if we start talking about something specific. If you put like timestamps in the comments for like YouTube or something like that, we'll add them into the descriptions for the video and onto the podcast, so people can just skip around to parts that they find interesting. That would be a big help. And please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We haven't really talked about this much, but it actually really does help. Like, you get more placement, more people start watching, that sort of thing. We've gotten one 5-star review. And that was really cool, and it was really unexpected, and it was very kind. So if you're listening, thank you so much for the review. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun to read. And, yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Become
awesome.
a patron if you want to give us money.
Hey, you can. It's just $1, like taking a trip to the dollar store, but going here.
A month, yeah. If you go to the dollar store once a month and you could do without it, maybe give it to our patron.
Yeah, it will really help the production. It'll help the production of our show.
It really will. I mean, it's been helpful for me, for sure.
Oh yeah, of course it has.
Look at that. Season 2 started. We got $10 there. And now we're making longer episodes because we feel like we're actually, like we're really getting support out of this and people care, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I enjoy doing this, and I am glad I can put more time into it during the summer.
Yay, me too. Ditto.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I guess, you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/GoshDaniel. Let's see, is there anything else? We're on, obviously, if you're listening to this on iTunes, we're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we're on iTunes. Stitcher's there, too. Okay. That's good enough.
Yeah. It's good enough.
If you want us to put it on something else, I guess you could suggest that. We've tried getting it on Google Play and Podbean, and neither of those are possible for what we have for some unknown reason. So neither of those are options, but we could probably put the podcast up on other things if you want. So if you want to listen on a different format in a different place, then leave a comment about that or tweet us or something, and we'll try to get it up there. So
cool. Yeah.
All right, and that's good enough for me.
Good enough for me.
This. Oh yeah, we want to try out different intros for the podcast. So
Oh, jeez.
We'll probably try a different one that we tried last week.
Yeah.
This time, and just let us know which one you like best out of the three ones that we've had. If you
I mean, the
want
original, it just sounds. Now I'm so used to the original, so
Mhm.
every time I listen to it, it sounds a lot better than whatever we come up with.
Yeah,
so.
same. I don't. Maybe we shouldn't change it. It just either one. All of them sound really cheesy to me, but that's okay.
They do.
But maybe that's
alright.
the point. Maybe that's the point. Maybe
Maybe
that's
we
what this
just are
podcast is all about. You know?
being cheesy
Yeah.
because it's kind of a easy way to a good excuse to let yourself be cheesy. But
It's easy to be cheesy, isn't it?
It really is. It's so
Yeah.
hard not to be. So
Especially
why,
since we
why,
have you here on our podcast. That makes it much more cheesy. So thank you.
Especially since we rhymed that, it just makes it even more cheesy. So.
It's easy to be cheesy. Just
Oh,
remember that,
gosh.
folks.
Oh jeez.
That's our new tagline.
Okay.
That's our new tagline. Easy to be cheesy.
Oh my word.
No, I hate it
Oh.
actually. Every time I say it, I hate myself more. Let's just end the podcast now.
All right. Thank you again
see
for
you
listening.
later, people.
Have an amazing day or night or month. Or if there's another thing besides day or night, then have that too. So, yes,
Yeah, there's
goodbye.
day, there's night, there's like afternoons, that sort of thing. You could get more specific and be like, have a good morning, have a good evening.
What
have
are
a
we
good
even saying
afternoon
anymore?
Stuff. I don't know anymore. I'm trying to keep.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
It's easy to be cheesy.